and welcome to the shop. Tonight we're going to be having a lot of fun. It is Thanksgiving night, and so I'm going to be doing several giveaways. We're going to give away a couple of strops and some wax, card scrapers, burnishers, shirts, and a couple other things. So if you are here live, we're going to be giving away throughout the end, throughout the video, and then I'll have one for the people who are watching this recorded. So there is a chance for everyone to win. I wanted to give back and say I'm thankful because I'm very thankful for the audience I have here. It is a phenomenal group, and Sarah and I both have a lot of fun with the regulars on here. So thank you for tuning in. And we are going to be making a Christmas gift. This is actually a really fun thing that you can whip out pretty quickly. It's also a really good project for doing with kids because it's very simple, very easy. Well, I'll explain what it is. It's one of those helicopters that you spin in your hand and the blade spins up. They're really easy to make, and they're a lot of fun to play with. And I've seen a whole bunch of different people make them. Another good channel that makes one, Paul Sellers, had a video from, what, 7-8 years ago, where he had a bunch of Christmas gifts that were really quick, simple things to make, and that was one that he had on there. So tonight we're going to be making that out of simple scrap that I have here. So I just have a piece of cut off that's 3/4 inch thick, and we'll be working through that. But let's go ahead and start this off with a giveaway for the people who like to get on here early. What we're going to be doing is, I should have had a list ahead of time. That would have been very smart to have a list of things for giveaways.
You know, I was going to ask you because I don't have any answers either.
All right, let's start with this. First person that we're going to be giving away a strop. So first person who can type in what state I was born in. There we go. And Sarah should know that one. And for those of you who win something tonight, all you have to do is get me your contact information. If you get a shirt, then the size as well, and I'll make sure to get those emailed out to you. Did Alan start that with Super Chat?
Yeah, he said I'll start the bidding for Sarah's work.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that was quick. Right off the bat. Alex. It is Alex, right?
It's Alex, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Wisconsin, yes. I was born in
the cow.
Rapids, Wisconsin. Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin.
Born in confusion.
So yeah, Alex, I think I've given you a strop
it.
before. So give me a contact and I'll send you something else that you're looking for.
Maybe he needs a new strop.
If you want another strop, then great. I'll get it in the mail. So we're going to start off with a scrap piece of 3/4 inch. This is mahogany. Mahogany! Sorry, I had something stuck in my throat.
It's a long night, folks.
And I want to make a piece that's about 3/4 inch by about 1/4 inch thick. So I'm going to set my marking gauge to about 1/4 inch thick. One of the nice things about this project is it doesn't require anything special. And so I'm going to rip a piece off here that's 3/4 inch wide by about 8 inches long, 10 inches long, something in that range. Nothing special. Just going to make a marking gauge mark on the board at 1/4 inch across. Any questions so far?
No, but we technically owe Alan a joke, although I think I should charge him double for that.
Oh, there were a few questions early.
Were there?
I wrote them over there.
Oh.
So I really like working with my big handsaw. And I'm thinking I'm going to do a one-on-one here soon with how to start a saw and how to steer it. Thought that'd be a fun one. But this is really overkill for this because it's only 3/4 inch thick, and this has really big teeth. But it's very fast. And so for something like this, I can start it on here. Yeah, it's going to be flexy. This has got a lot of bounce in it, so I got to be very careful. But once I get it up and running, it is incredibly fast. So let me set this on here and show you guys what this looks like up close. I can't let it bite because the board flexes too much. Love a good sharp saw. Those are a lot of fun. And there's something about the big handsaw. It's probably the second most used tool in my shop, the second most used saw. Just big teeth. And this one could be used to sharpen. It's pretty dull right now, as with a lot of my tools. Thinking I'm going to do a sharpening day coming up here soon. What questions we got?
Let's see. The Walnut Woodworker asks, besides bacho?
Bacho.
Okay. What are some good saw file brands?
You know, when it comes to saw files, people really get picky about them. And honestly, I'm in the belief that just start off with a really cheap one. Go to the big box store and buy a triangular file. It will cut just as well right off the bat. It will get dull much faster, but it will do great work. And per sharpenings for money, that's probably the most cost-effective way to go. You will get more sharpenings per dollar from a cheap big box store file than you will from getting a really nice high-quality file. The nice thing about higher quality files is you can get different sizes, so you can work with a lot more teeth. They last longer. They're a little bit smoother of a cut, and so they are nicer. But when you're first starting out, there's no reason to buy an expensive file. Bacho is my favorite, and there really aren't many others. The new Nicholsons aren't as amazing. They're still better than the big box files, but they're not great. And I really haven't looked into it that much because the ones I have are Bacho. They're from Lee Valley sells them, and so that's what I use. But actually, I still have a couple files that are big box store files that I'll pull out from time to time. So that's my take on it. But thanks, Walnut. So we ripped it down about 1/4 inch, and I want to make it about that long. It's not anything specific, and one of the fun things about this is there really aren't many specifics on it other than a couple things I'll show later. And so I want it to be about, let's go that long. I don't even have to worry about being square. There's our propeller blade that we're going to use. So I want to plane this down to my marking gauge line. Let me show you where I am with my marking gauge. So you can see the line there that I sawed right next to, leaving a little bit that I can plane off and smooth it down. So we're going to take this right down and make that line disappear. What other questions we got?
Dr. Kahn, what did you pull? Oh, he's asking how you like your turkey. Roast, deep fried, smoked, or grilled?
Usually baked when covered in bacon. Though turkey's not my favorite thing. I'm not a huge fan of turkey, so I prefer it other ways.
Last year we did pizza.
What's that?
I said last year we did pizza.
Yeah, pizza is the best Thanksgiving meal you can ask for. Where did my dogs go?
Who let the dogs out?
Who?
Oh.
I always expect the dogs to be there, but they're not.
Where is Bench Dog?
What's that?
I said, where is Bench
Oh yeah,
Dog?
bench dog. There we go. I'll jam her down in one of the holes.
Poor thing. She was Melody's.
So I'm going to put this dog down so it's just sticking up 1/8 inch or so, and use that as a stop. So now I can put my plane on here and plane it smooth. Actually, I want to move it over. Now I have to pound it up and out. I re-glued the top on this and have not re-reamed the holes now that I tightened it up. Boy, everything's missing tonight. I have a punch that I normally use, so I'm going to use a screwdriver to push it up through the hole. But these ones are a bit tight. I need to move it a little farther away because the end of the stick is hanging off the bench and harder to push on. See, that hole's nice. That hole's pleasant. And we can stick this in here. So, yeah, we need to do another giveaway.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, here's a fun one. What was the first wood that I ever made a project out of? What was the first lumber I ever made a project out of? I'll have to watch that one when they start popping up.
I was like,
I don't think you know that one.
I mean, I have a guess, knowing your father.
Yes, it is my father's.
Oh, okay.
And for those of you who might know my father, that will tell you exactly what wood it is, because he has a favorite wood. almost down to that marking gauge line. And it doesn't have to be right onto that marking gauge line. I'm going to go a little past because I want to make it a little bit thinner. So the stick is about that long by 3/4 by about 1/4. And that will be turning into our propeller blade. Makes for a fun little one. Did we get...
I think so.
I know there's at least one. Is there someone before Tommy Roberts?
I don't think so. That's
Right.
the first one I saw.
Tommy Roberts, you won. Let's do a hard wax. So unless you want a soft wax, let me know and I'll send you one or the other. Just send me your address and I'll get that on there. If you go on to woodbywright.com, there is a contact form on there you can fill out. And send me your address and who you are, what you want, and I'll get one out to you. Unless you already have my wax and you want something else, then let me know that. We'll go with that. So, yeah, it was red oak. My father loves red oak. So that was what the first thing I ever made was a Pinewood Derby car out of red oak. It was disqualified because it was made out of something else, but I really enjoyed it, and it was scrap left over from the shop. So
They're saying, Alex is saying the questions are too easy.
the questions are too easy. Well, a lot of people jumped on that one.
Well, I mean, there are generic woods that, you know.
Okay, so this was 8 1/4 inches long. So I'm going to make a mark in middle. So that's 4 1/8. And so I want to find out where the middle of this board is. And I'm going to make a mark on both sides of it because that is where we need to drill the central hole for the rod to come out of. If we move it off one side or the other, then it gets out of balance, which we'll have to adjust a little later. The next thing we're going to need is a spoke shave. And I'm just going to use my simple Stanley 151. It is a really nice spoke shave. It'll go to town. You don't have to mess with it much. It's a flat bottom. And it's a great one for kids because you can just set it up and say, here, have fun. Now, with this one, actually, put it over here so I can show you this a little better. We're going to be making a propeller, which means we're going to have to turn this rectangular format into a, should have a piece of paper. So imagine this is a cross section of the board we just cut. We want to lop off this corner up here and this corner down here, so we have a piece of wood going from top corner down to the bottom corner. And then on the opposite side, it'll be going the opposite direction. So as one propeller is pushing up, the other one is pushing up, but from the other direction. It'll make more sense as we go. The nice thing about it is no matter how we hold it, we're always going to be shaving off the same corner of the stick. So this is the fun and magical part, and it is great to do with kids. So I'm going to set this on here. It's sitting up in the stick. The center mark is right about here. So I'm going to start with the blade, just a little bit above that center mark, and I'm going to be doing this corner of the stick itself. And I'm just going to go until I get close to touching this corner to this corner with the smoke shave. Here. If you ever see it clogging, skew the smoke shave at an angle, and now the curls will come off at an angle rather than curling back up on themselves easily. And on this side, I'm going against the grain, so that means the other side will be a little bit better. And don't be afraid about getting too thin. Thin is good. Thin is lightweight. Lightweight means better propeller. And so there's one of 4 edges. We're going to take it, turn it. We're going to do the same thing on the same corner, except for this corner is opposite because we rotated around. What questions we got?
Hang on.
I love how the sound starts going boom, boom, boom. Special effects there. That's extra.
Oh, seriously. There we go. Let's see. Warren Munn. What is a good hard finish for a desktop / work surface?
You know, my new favorite finish for a work surface, something I really want durable, is Rubio monocoat. It is a great durable finish. I mean, poly is really good, But poly gives you a film, and that film, then you get scratches in the film. And so it becomes easier to see any scratches you might get on it.
Okay, so.
And so Rubio monocoat isn't quite of a film on the surface. You feel more of the wood. It just makes the wood much more durable. What?
Okay, Mr. Eager Beaver, I don't know if the rest of the question would change what you suggest.
What's that?
Some of us have to take breaths once in a while.
What? I don't breathe.
He says, apart from being part of my desk, it is also used for building Lego-based CAD designs. Poly didn't work. Lego studs scratched straight through.
Yeah, go with Rubio monocoat.
Okay. Just
So that's the problem with poly is you get that film finish, and the scratches show up in that film finish. Rubio monocoat it soaks into the wood and basically makes the wood harder. So it's about the same hardness as the poly, but because you still see the wood grain, you don't see scratches in it as much.
Warren says something more affordable.
And there's the problem. And on that point, there really isn't anything more affordable that won't build up a film finish. Because everything out there is going to make a film finish to make it protective. You put BLO on there, and it's going to look good, but it's not actually protective. It doesn't protect the wood. It's just, it adds color. I mean, it's a little protective, stops a little bit of moisture absorption, but not that much. So it's one of those things of, yeah, there really isn't a cost-effective, really protective thing other than, well, anything. Even if you put an epoxy on there, it's going to get scratched up because you have a glossy surface that you can see.
All right, tell your mother hello.
Yeah, Rubio monocoat. Hi, Mom! Okay, let's see what we got here. Now, I've got these corners on here that are stiff, that are sharp, and with this thing spinning around, you want to keep those a little bit more protective. And so we're just going to round those off just a little bit so that when it spins, it doesn't hit you and go, ow! Well, it wouldn't go ow, but you know how that goes. Actually, I'm going to smooth these out just a little bit around the end. And you can get really, really finicky on this and giving it an exact airfoil shape and really cleaning it up. You don't really have to do that. So there's one half of the propeller. You can see how it's shaped pretty quickly. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put this back in here, just like that, and we're going to do the other half of the propeller. The exact same thing again. We're going to be doing the opposite corner. So you're still doing the same corner in relationship to you, because as this spins, you're doing this corner, and it spins, you're still doing that same corner, just it happens to be opposite corner because it spun. So we've done 2 of them. Let's do 2 more, making sure we're starting again close to the halfway point. Also at this point, you're going to want to be a little more careful because you're starting to get a thinner piece, so it's moving around. If it bends too much, you can grab a scrap something or other and clamp that on there so that there is more surface to it, so it's not bending quite as much. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do that for this one because this wood is a little bit more flexy than I'd like. Flexy, that's a specialty term right there. That'll stiffen it up just a little bit.
Which camera do you think you're on?
The main one.
Okay, just making sure.
What other questions we got?
Let's see. We have lots of questions tonight. Harold Schultz asked, have you tried Lynx Gent saws, and what are your thoughts?
Have I tried gent saws?
Lynx Gent, yeah.
I've never used Lynx Gent saws. I'm not a fan of gent saws in general. Well, here, let me explain this because I got some time. A gent saw is a saw where the handle comes out straight. It's basically, if you take a regular dovetail saw, in this handle, you're holding it at a little bit higher than 45 degrees. Whereas a gent saw, it takes the handle and then rotates it all the way until you're holding it at 90 degrees to the cut. Now, this is great if you're cutting with the saw at a 45-degree angle. It's comfortable there. But if you want to be cutting at a comfortable mechanical, you have to have this lower than your elbow. It's got to be down at near your waist size. And so this is really, really good if you have a lower than average bench because your work is down here. The problem is it's away from your eyes. If you want to bring it up to your eyes, well, then your saw has to be at an angle like that. Whereas with a standard dovetail, because the handle is turned at it, now the comfortable size for that is actually up at my elbow. So now the work's a little bit closer to me. So this is better for a higher bench. And so that's why I generally don't use gent saws, because I have a fairly high bench for my height. I'm 6'1" and my bench is 38 inches. And that is on the high side. It's more of a German style, whereas a lot of English benches tend to be a little lower. But in the end, it's a very personal preference. I don't use gent saws because they're not comfortable for me working up higher and closer on. So it's one of those personal preferences, but I don't use them much. So, no, I've never used a Lynx gent saw. But Lynx is generally a decent brand. They're not amazing, but they're great. They're a good value for the money. Oh yeah, I'm working on this. What else we got, babe?
When do you want to do another giveaway? It's 8:20.
Let me finish these blades and we'll do a shirt giveaway.
Okay.
Why don't you come up with the thing for it this time?
Oh dear Lord.
Something with your background.
Oh, you want something from my background?
Sure.
Oh.
It doesn't have to be my background.
Okay, well hang on.
It's not
Let
like
me
I'm the
ask
star
you
of
a
the show or
question
anything.
while you do this, and I'll think of my question. Kenny-Anjanette Horn wants to know, when starting a large saw, does a starter kerf help, or is it not worth the time?
Ooh, good question. A starter kerf, as in you grab the saw and you start pulling it back. Because the rake is forward, the teeth want to catch when it goes forward. When they come back, they kind of bounce across the top. Gives you a little bit of a kerf, and then you can get going. It is a decent way to start a saw. However, I find it to be a little bit annoying. Other times you'll find saws that have smaller teeth right up at the tip, but then you're working with the saw way back here and trying to start it way back here, and that becomes annoying. I prefer to just learn to hold the saw off the work, so you're moving it back and forth. It's on your line, but it's not actually touching the work. It's sliding up against your thumbnail without touching the work. It's staying high, it's going high, and then you slowly let the weight touch the wood, and you get a kerf going, and you never stop. You just slide on down. That's the way I prefer to start it. But in the end, it kind of comes down to how you like it. Some people do, some people don't. Let's see, where am I at? One last corner on here. Now this one I'm going against the grain. I'm going against it pretty well. Most of the time you want to pick one with a bit of a straight grain. And I thought this was pretty straight, but it's giving me a little bit of tear out on this side. So I'm going to go down rather than up, which takes a little bit more skill. Not too much. Oop. And I'm just going until it gets down to a little less than an 1/8 inch thick. Oop. Didn't clog up in there. Yeah, see, that's looking about right. So now we've got this shape. Nice little lightweight propeller. And I need to round off the tip on this one, just like we did before. So let's do that. So, want to do another giveaway?
Sure.
What are people going to do for this one? Let's do a shirt this time.
Okay.
What is it?
I don't know if you know this answer. Okay. So we're going to go back. This is probably going to be a guess for y'all. In 8th grade, there was a career I wanted. It was not nurse. I'll give you that. There was a career I thought about for about a year of pursuing before coming back to nursing. I was born to be a nurse. Anyways.
Wow, this one's going to be a guess.
You don't know this answer?
I think I do.
So what career did I want to be in 8th grade? And if you guys get this, I'll be shocked, to be honest.
If someone gets it early, I think I'm going to have to throw in something extra for that. There, nice propeller. So this is our propeller shaft. Now we need a thing to spin it.
Pro basketball player.
She is far better at basketball than I am. She'll beat me at pig any day. And if she were about an inch taller, she could dunk on me. Anyone getting close?
Nope.
You want to offer a hint?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay, people are still going. Prime Minister.
I was voted most likely to be president by my teachers in 9th grade.
So, the next thing we need...
Vote captain.
The next thing we need is the stick. And so normally I just use like a 1/4-inch dowel. That works great. But tonight I just want to make it out of some scrap, something I have lying around. And so I'm going to grab a piece of this, which is 1/4-inch something or other, but this end is actually pretty straight grained. So I'm going to cut off a piece that is slightly longer than my hand, so something around like 8 inches. So about the same length as this.
All right.
What do we got?
Okay, we're not really getting close.
I was going to say, this one's like a shot in the dark. Ooh, don't bump that.
I was going to say, there were a particular set of shows that were really starting to become
Particular skills.
popular. Of a particular set of skills.
8th grade, so you're thinking like 1940s?
It's much darker than most people would probably guess.
So I'm going to cut this down to 8 inches.
Parking lot attendant.
You're not going to help him out at all, are you?
Well, I said it's a darker type of career. Oh, we got it.
What was it?
Alex got it. He already won. Well, kind of. But he's the closest.
What was it?
Well, not exactly the coroner, a forensic pathologist, but coroner is probably the closest anybody's going to get. Although Skooma C with crime scene was probably even closer, but that was after I think I might have said something.
That's her
Pick next
CSI.
one, Alex said. Okay, so then I think Sumi said coroner next.
Sumi? Mm-hmm. Okay, Sumi. Send me your info, and I'll get that out to you.
Yeah.
I actually got to see Sumi's face the other day.
Undertaker. Yeah, you didn't. Undertaker was my favorite wrestler in WWF.
I do all my my hangouts when Sarah's at work.
So yeah, James should be more worried now. You didn't know that about me?
No, I did.
Oh, I thought you knew that about me. Yeah, y'all didn't know. So instead
That
of
was my
fixing
guess.
people,
I was pretty sure, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah. So
100%.
I even went to the coroner's office and did a whole project in 8th grade about it because that's when CSI and all of that was coming out. So
I'm going to use the same marking gauge that's set at about a 1/4 inch. And I'm going to put a cut on there. Now the problem with a really thin piece like this, if I cut it vertically, I'm putting a lot of force on this and I'm probably going to snap that piece off. So I'm going to cut this one lengthwise, which is actually kind of fun. At least I think it's fun, but you know, I have that weird twisted sense of humor. So I'm going to put that on here. Start this close to it. And I'm going to slowly work the back of the saw down until my wife stops laughing at me. Of course, she's laughing at the chat. What is it?
see, Brian Bear says, can we call Sarah Ducky?
Ducky? Yes. Yes, that is Sarah. Now, one of the problems...
No. Well, then, but you're not...
What?
But that I don't want to call you Gibbs. That's... No.
No, I'm the dead body you're tearing apart on the slab. One of the problems with ripping a small board is that the board is more than half the length of my saw. So at any point, the saw, there's some of the saw in there, and that some of the saw in the middle fills up with dust, and that causes it to jump out of the kerf. So I need to make sure I saw past and then saw past. So at every point, it allows the chips to fall out of the saw. So I'm being very careful to try. Of course, this is the one that has that bend in the nose. So I have to be a little more careful when pulling it all the way back, that I don't let that bend run out. And there I am doing short strokes again.
Which child is DiNozzo?
There we go.
JJ.
What's that?
I said, which child is DiNozzo? JJ. Because Arthur is Gibbs.
Yes, Arthur is
Arthur
Gibbs.
is Gibbs. Melody is Eva. There's our children.
Yes. Give Melody an Uzi. Okay, so now I need to thin this thing down because it's more of a rectangle than a square, and I want it to be pretty square shaped. So we're going to do the same thing again. And working with little pieces is kind of fun because it takes a little more skill. And if I find a task that requires a little more skill, I find it's something that I enjoy and want to spend a little more time on. So let's flip back over to this. Set this on here. And I could plane it right down to that marking gauge line. And if that marking gauge line was smack on quarter by quarter square, probably would trust it. But at this point, I'm going to feel it because this is what I'm going to be doing. That feels about right. Yeah, that feels pretty good. So we've got approximately quarter by quarter square on here. Now, square peg, no hole. We need to put a hole in this. And I want the hole to be a little smaller than this. I could put a 1/4 inch, but I want it to be, actually, no, I'm going to do this one because it's about quarter by quarter square. I'm going to do about a 1/4 inch. And when I mean about a 1/4 inch, I mean I'm probably going to grab my 1/4 inch. Let's see. Hey, nope. I've got the 15/64. I wish we did metric. So 15/64, and I'm going to put it in a brace, and we're going to drill a hole. What other questions we got?
Let's see. Dennis Meko asked, where do we find taps and dies and screws for antique planes? They are not commonly sold now.
There are a few companies that make them, though they are very expensive and hard to come by. Most of the time I find it easier to find a friend with a machining lathe and make my own. Yeah, they are out there that I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. I'm sure someone in the comments will put it out there. Though I was talking with another guy recently that might be something he starts to offer, or specialty made for like the 12/20 screws and the 1/4 22 screws, and the weird sizes that Stanley liked to use. They weren't weird back in the day, but they're weird now because they aren't commonly used. So let's drill a hole in this. So I'm going to find that mark I made earlier, and I'm going to eyeball it center to center across that way. I'm just using a twist bit here because I don't have an auger bit that small. And I'm supporting the back here, and I'm actually going to wait until I feel the fibers ever so starting to give away. And at that point, I'm going to take the pressure off and just let it spin. It'll give me the cleanest cut with a twist bit like this. Still get a decent amount of blowout on the back, but not half bad. So there, now I've got a hole. How do we get this into there? Nice thing about that is we're going to take that spoke shave we had again and really quickly turn the square peg into a round hole. Now I could grab my doweling jig and do that in there. But I want to actually make the tip on this just a little smaller. So we're going to go a little ways. Ooh, that's close. So I'm just going to do a few. I'm looking down at the end and I'm looking at the points. So it's basically like an octagon. And I want to make sure I'm just hitting the points rather than hitting a flat again. That. Let's try it again. There we go. And a little more. There we go. No, not quite. So you can see how it's tapering. And the tip of this is just a little smaller. Just trying to hit the top. The tip of it is a little smaller in the shaft. So theoretically, the tip should stick out. And there we go. We got ourselves a whirligig. So let's see if it works. Ready? Did I do it wrong? Oh, I did it wrong. The way I want to spin it, it goes down. So I got to go the other way. So, oh, it stays. Let's try it again. So I want to go this way.
We're gonna like have the camera suddenly tilt and fuzzy lines and.
Yeah. So here, let me get you this one.
Because it keeps moving out of frame anyways, we can't see it.
So there you go. It's a lot of fun. A fun little toy. So I can, I'll probably put some CA glue on this. It'll stiffen up the fibers. And let it stick on there a little bit better. The nice thing about this is I used a marking gauge, a plane, a saw, a brace, a spoke shave out of scrap wood that I had lying around. And it's one of those fun things you could bring a kid down to the shop and have a little bit of fun with it and just have something interesting. Make up a pile of these, you get them going and you can make them in 5-10 minutes a piece. And they'd be a great thing to hand out to family and friends at the party. Just a lot of fun. What do we got next? Use some thin.
It's 8:36. Is it time for another giveaway?
Hang
or do you
off
want
on
me
that.
to ask a question first?
Yeah, ask a question and I'll be thinking about something for that.
Okay.
Use a little bit of CA glue.
Let's see. The Art Addict. Good evening, James. I love the videos. I recently bought a Stanley No. 3 Type 11, and it is in perfect condition except that the chip breaker and iron are heavily pitted. How do I remove it?
How do you remove it? Oh, remove the pitting? Honestly, pitting does not affect the performance, with the exception of pitting on the flat side of the iron. In that case, the only way to get rid of it is to grind it off. Using really, really rough sandpaper and grind it down and then get to less and less. You could try and do it on a grinder, but doing a flat surface on a grinder is a great way to ruin an iron. In all honesty, if it were mine, I would probably just buy a new iron. But yeah, that's not a great thing to have. I've got a chunk of CA on this that is not there. But in most of the cases, like pitting on the chip breaker, unless it's right on the tip where it joins with the iron, isn't a problem. But if you have pitting on the chip breaker there, you need a new chip breaker. That's not something you can just fix. Let's see if it comes out now. But yeah, pitting anywhere else, it's not a problem. It won't affect the function of it. Come on, out. Thick CA. Hope that answered your question though. There it goes. Ooh, thick CA. Hit with a little bit of activator. And we're good to go. There we go. Another whirligig. Those are a lot of fun.
How is this a bad plan?
What's that?
How is this a bad
plan? No, I thought about, I should do that. I should make up a few of these for the family when we take all the family out to Tennessee. That'd be a fun one so the kids can play with them outside, launch them off the balcony. Okay, we need to do another giveaway. Let's see, we've done wax, we've done a strop. Let's do the card scrapers. For those of you who don't know, I sell Wood by Wright card scrapers. They're actually the ones from DFM Toolworks. So the exact same ones that he offers, except for they have the Wood by Wright logo on them. You're paying extra for the logo because it helps out Wood by Wright. So I actually have on my website where you go to buy these. I have a link to where you can buy them on Amazon for cheaper. You just get them without the logo. So if you're looking for a more cost-effective for the exact same thing, you can buy it through that. And it's an affiliate link, so that helps out the channel as well. But if you get them with the logo, it helps out a little more. So thank you for those who purchased, but we're going to be giving that away. Here's a fun one. How many dogs are in my first row of dog holes on my bench?
You better be watching that.
Okay, how many dogs are in my first row of dog holes? Person will win a card scraper. Yeah, this will be a fast one. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, I did the live video last week with how to sharpen a card scraper. That's one of those things, once you learn how to sharpen a card scraper, it becomes so much fun. Nope, 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 nope.
Can the whirly gig be made while you scuba?
Nope, 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 nope. I thought it would have been easier than this. Whoa. It's the first one I see, and no one's guessed it yet. Wow. There we go. C. Joe, 18.
Are you sure there's been no 18s?
I did not see another one. It's the first one I saw. C. Joe, send me your info, and I'll send you a card scraper. You can go to my channel and hit a contact me form and fill that out with your information, and I will get you a card scraper. We'll be doing other giveaways, though. Stay tuned. What question we got next?
Let's see. Daniel Walsh. Do you have any recommendations for furniture design books? I want to make a desk, but have no idea where to start.
No, I don't. And the main reason is I don't like reading books. I find that gaining information off of reading to be an extra amount of effort and takes far more work than it's worth for me. So for me, when I'm looking into design, I go on Google Images and I search for, like recently I'm working on a side table, and so I'll look up mission style side table, and I'll have thousands of pictures and different breakdowns of those. And so I go through the design elements. If I like this and I like that and I like this. And usually I take all those elements and I let them run around in my brain, and I picture different designs with this, with that, and that with this, and kind of get the idea of what I want. And then I go and build it. If I'm making it from plans, then I'll put it in SketchUp and show my wife, and then my wife will say, I don't like that, because my wife can't see what's in my brain. But that's my usual design elements. And we're going to be making a end table sometime with her. And it was very interesting doing the design with her because she still doesn't know what she wants.
It is a woman's prerogative.
She sends me, 3 or 4 pictures that aren't connected, and so I have to try and come up with a design. So I'll write up something in SketchUp and send it to her, and she'll be like, no, not like that at all.
I'm not a visualizer in 3D like you are.
Yeah.
I could type it out in a paper for you better than I could in a...
But
That's why I like Pinterest.
as to books, if I had to pick one by hand and eye, you can get that one through Lost Art Press. Really, really good traditional design book. Actually walking you through the measurements and how different things correspond to different ways. I find it to be a really good way at looking at traditional design elements. That being said, don't ever take anything you learn in design as law. There is no, this is better than that in design, because it all comes down to the eye of the beholder. Understand that whenever you're studying design, you will have pundits that say this is how you should do the elements together, and any other way is not right. And just understand that no. There are 1,000 ways to do it. That's I think one of the more common things that I have issues with when it comes to design, is that there's a lot of ideas of this is the best way to do it, when there really is no best way. It's all kind of, does it look good to you? Then go for it. There are lots of elements from one design or another that I would think that's horrible. Why would anyone ever do that? But people in that field think that's the way it should be done, and great. That's one of the great things about it, is that there are a million different ways to do it, and there really is no right way to do it. So have some fun. But yeah, by hand and eye, really good book on the topic. What?
Your son is commenting.
My son is commenting?
Yes. Some are related, some are not related. So you may want to tell them to just watch. Guess which son?
JJ, you're watching. Don't do that.
We love him. He is a chip off the old block.
Yes, he is. Which one? We won't talk about. The old block. Yeah, that's right.
You're the one who's older.
My hair's not gray. Oh, Jim's fighting words.
At least I have hair. I wasn't gray until I met you, so whose fault is it?
Yes.
Yes.
We found her first gray hair right after our first date.
Remember that job I told about y'all earlier? Next week, the live will be hosted and produced by Sarah alone.
What's the next question?
You are so going to get it later. Anyways, Chuck Bush, do you know a source for replacement wheel cutters for an antique Stanley number 98 marking gauge?
I don't actually. However, if you're looking for parts, I would say go to handtoolfinder.com. It's a website I have dedicated to finding antique tools. It is every source I know of to buy antique hand tools all around the world. There's a map of locations as well as trusted online sellers. And when I'm looking for a part, there's usually a couple different places I go. The first thing is a Facebook group called the Parts Collective. And you post up, hey, I'm looking for this, and people who have piles of parts can then jump in and say, yeah, I can get that for you. That's probably the best source I could give you. Next is then to go through the list of online sellers and send an email out to them and say, hey, I'm looking for this. Most all of them have a ton of parts, and they'll dig through their stuff and see if they've got it. For something like that, I don't know. What the Stanley 96 was it? Or the 95? Because the 95 has those weird ones. What do you say, babe? The 96 or the 95?
98.
98. Oh, that one I don't know. I can't remember if that's a wheel gauge or not. Because the 95 is this weird one, and it's got these funky things on it, which I keep wanting to do a video on. I've just never gotten around to it. I should do that soon. But I don't know of anyone who's making them specifically as replacements for that. Though I'm sure someone out there would know one. And if you do, great, let me know. But yeah, that's usually where I go. First place is the Parts Collective. But what is it, 48? Let's do one more giveaway. We're going to be giving away a burnisher, and this is a full kit, so it is a full burnisher kit. So you've got the cowl, the ring, so that you can make the handle. And so that is the collar that then supports the wood, so you can put that into it and make your own burnisher. And so I have the full kit. I have them where you can just buy the rod, because most of the time when I'm actually burnishing, I'm just using the rod. And these are carbide, so they are much harder than the steel. And they also, they are unfinished. So most of the time when you buy a carbide rod, they've been ground to a specific diameter and they're perfectly smooth. And those work great. I just find if they're unfinished and they have a bit of imperfection in the surface, it grabs the steel better and pulls it out. And so you can actually draw out the steel much quicker and easier with that. And so that's why I like using an unfinished carbide rod. Slightly different. But we're going to give that away. How old am I? Year? How many years? Person who puts that in there first. No, I'm not 100. I'll ship that one out. It's fun finding a question that is that not everyone knows, but that people can search through pretty quickly. Wow, right off the bat.
You tell people all the time how old you are.
Do I?
Yes!
Oh, well. Who is that?
C. Bryant Bear.
C. Bryant Bear. Congratulations. Send me your information and I'll send you out a burnisher. So we'll do one more giveaway on here, and then right at the end, I'll tell you how you can win. But my
question was way cooler than any other question you've asked.
Okay, for the last one, we're going to have Sarah's question.
Oh, now you're going to make it. Fine.
She will have the grand prize.
Oh, I got it.
Okay, what's the next question?
Okay. Let's see. Dr. Khan says, how would one make hard wax finish at home?
I have a video on that. Search for how to make paste wax, and you'll come across that. My hard wax that I use, this is what I use for lubricating planes and saws. It's a block of wax. Grab mine down here. And it's just a block of beeswax impregnated with oil. And I use, let me see, I remember the recipe off the top of my head. It is 2 parts wax to 1 part oil. And I like to, for my hard wax, I use a raw linseed oil, so it stays oil longer. I find that mix to be just the right mixture for longevity of the lubrication to the actual function of it. If you use a lot of wax, it lasts longer, but it's not quite as much of a lubricant as oil. Oil gives you a better lubricant, but doesn't last as long, and so that's the balance point where I like it to be. But my soft wax is more of a finishing wax, though I have found people who like to use the hard wax for finishing because it is a little more durable. You just have to heat it up and heat it into the wood, or use a French polishing polisher to work it into wood. But yeah, what's next?
Let's see. Brandon Chennault asked, do you put on BLO before Rubio monocoat finish or just straight on the bare wood?
I don't put on BLO with Rubio monocoat, so I just put Rubio monocoat straight onto the wood. Rubio monocoat, one of the things I really like about it is one of the closest finishes in color to boiled linseed oil. When you get the Rubio monocoat pure, it has a really, really close tone. So there really isn't any reason to do the BLO first, because you get all the color from that plus the protection. It goes on in 15 minutes. You wipe it on, just slop it on. Don't worry about over or under. Well, worry about under, but you want to get enough on so there's a bit of a film on top. And then you come back 15 minutes later and you grab a rag and just polish it off, and it's done. It's incredibly easy. And the nice thing about it is that if it ever does get a problem where you need to clean it out, like we had a spot on the table where one of the kids took a Scotch-Brite pad to clean it off, and scraped it up good and actually wore down through the finish. And so it's one of those places where you can just go back and put another coat on top of it, and you don't have to worry about hitting just that spot. You can coat the whole area, and it will only absorb what it needs where it needs it. Polish it off, and it's right back to where it was in the beginning. So really easy to fix.
We'll say it was the children. Pretty sure it was me.
That really hard stain. No, I need to clean up the table.
That table needs a little addressing again.
It's one of the fun things of 3 kids, and it is the heart of our house, and everything gets done there. All the art projects and all the painting, and
it's not the crotch.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The trees mean. Anyways.
What's next?
I have a question for them, for the giveaway if you're ready.
Not yet.
Okay, fine. Oh, wait.
Holiday Cocoa Fun.
Oh, thanks, Troy. And we haven't done any mom jokes yet either. John Day, would a hacksaw blade make a good dovetail saw? For example, putting a hacksaw blade in the bow saw / frame saw.
Yeah, that makes a great one. I actually say don't put it in a frame saw, just use the hacksaw. It actually makes a really good dovetail saw. When you want a dovetail saw, you need fine teeth, very little set, and a thin plate. And a hacksaw has all of those things. So yeah, just grab a hacksaw. It makes a really good dovetail saw. It's not amazing because there's a little bit of twist in it and you have to be a little more careful with it. but you'll get a really nice clean cut, and it does it very effectively. So yes, a hacksaw is a great one. The only thing you want to be careful, you want to get the saws that actually have set rather than the wavy tooth patterns, because those aren't quite as accurate. But I mean, even the wavy tooth pattern will work perfectly fine. But yes, a dovetail saw, I mean, a hacksaw makes a really good dovetail saw. And that's usually one of the things I tell people is when someone thinks about what saws they should get for their shop first, usually the first saw they think of is the dovetail saw, because it's the one we all talk about. And that is honestly one of the last saws you should get. First, get a carcass saw or a sash saw, something with cross-cut teeth, a back. This is the one I use more than anything else in my shop. Next, get yourself a big old handsaw, because you need to rip boards, something with big teeth. Between those two, you're going to do 99% of all your cutting. And then you can start working on all your specialty saws, getting a decent cross-cut saw, getting a tenon saw, and then a dovetail saw, because you don't use a dovetail saw that often. It is a very rarely used saw. And for that case, a hacksaw works phenomenally to fill that gap until one day you do buy one. So yes, that is my 2 cents on it. Okay, Sarah, what's your giveaway? And for this one, I am going to give the the viewers a, what was I going to say? What did it come out to? $25 gift card. Ooh. So you can buy whatever you want from the Wood by Wright shop. So Sarah, what do we got for that?
Because you'll know this answer. Where did James take me on our first date?
We're talking about where I actually took you?
Yes, where you actually took me.
Where did I actually take her on her first date? That's a lot of guessing.
Should I give the hint of?
Sure.
To eat.
Yes, the hint. I told her we were going one place, and then surprised her by going to another place on our actual first date. No, it wasn't a Chick-fil-A. I'm better than that. I told her we were going to Subway, but we didn't go to Subway. The woodcraft store, yes.
Specific restaurant is what I was looking for.
Burger King, no. That's where the kids would want to go.
And it's a well-known place. It's not like it's...
Yes. Think of nice chain. Think of Sarah, and you'll know which one I'm talking about.
I think we have a winner.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see. Is it Chuck Bush?
Chuck, wait, hang on. That's not who I was thinking. Where do you see Chuck?
Right above CMDR. Mine is a little delayed from yours, so whatever you saw first.
Well, now I want to know what you said.
What did you see?
Because it's Olive Garden, right? I'm thinking correctly. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I was like, was it Red Lobster? It's Olive Garden. No, I thought it was DrKahnihoochima.
Whichever one you saw first.
Okay, hang on. Where's my controller? Why is it not working?
The judges are ruling here, folks. Stay tuned. We're going to take a close look at this end zone line.
No, I want to give the right person, but I'm pretty sure it was DrKahnihoochima.
Now, for those of you wondering, if you do want to tell your family that there is a Wood by Wright gift card that you can buy on there, so that you can let your significant other buy exactly what they want.
Yes, it was DrKahnihoochima.
Was DrKahnihoochima? Okay, cool.
Yes.
So, yeah, DrKahnihoochima, send me your contact information, and I will get you your $25 gift card. Yeah, let's answer one more question.
I love how you're like, think of Sarah. How am I an Olive Garden?
Italian.
Okay. I thought you were going to tell me like small and...
She has a garlic stick.
Whoever said Hooters. We have some degenerates in this chat.
Give me one more question and I'll tell people how they can win the last.
Okay, I think my chair just broke. Anyways. Alex just asked, how much aerodynamic lift the propeller will give?
That would be a fun one to find out. How much weight can I put on this and really do it? It just depends on how fast I spin it. But if I took this outside, I could probably get it up around 30, 40 feet, maybe a little more. I should do a short on that and actually spin it out there. But they're surprisingly good. You can actually get a lot. And I found that I like the square shaft better than the round shaft. A round shaft may feel a little bit better, but you get a better friction with the square shaft, so you actually get more torque with it. But yeah, that would be fun to try. Let me guess, how much weight could I actually lift with this? It would probably be somewhere around 3 ounces, something like that. Pretty significant. So, for those of you who are watching recorded, we are going to be doing another $25 gift card for everyone who is watching it recorded. So not right now, not in the live chat, but once the video actually comes out, leave a comment down below with what you want. I want a specific item. What do you want for Christmas? Not that I'm going to buy that for you, but it might help the audience because I want to actually have a list of what woodworkers want for Christmas so that I can put that out to the wider scope of what are woodworkers looking for Christmas. So once the video comes live, put in the comments, what do you want for Christmas? What one item, and I will randomly pick one next week. Actually, not next week, because we're probably not going to have a live next week.
Oh yeah, we're on vacation.
But I will randomly pick one and give that person a $25 gift card. So yes, once the video goes live, let me know down below what you want for Christmas as a woodworker, and we'll get that out there. So anything else we're reading? If I didn't get to your question, send me a message and I'll try and answer it on there. We don't normally
so
get to the end of the
wait
questions
an hour and then put your comment.
Yeah, it usually takes about 30 minutes or more for those to come out, and then you can see the actual comments once it becomes a video rather than a live. So.
If it says live in the red box, don't comment yet.
Yes. Yeah, I think that'll do it.
A Visa gift card.
Anything else I'm forgetting? What?
I don't know. Are we referring back to earlier comments you've made?
Everything? So yes, we probably will not be having a live next week. So have your week after Thanksgiving off because we will be out of town. But until then, have a wonderful day. Bye.